Super ready, excited for the day. It's going to be an amazing day. Back to this.
We need more film. Gather too.
Best show ever in
How are you doing,
It's
people?
a great Tuesday night.
It's a normal Tuesday, but you make it great.
You do make it great. My name is Erinn.
My name is Dan.
And together we are
Erinn and Dan. And this is
Erinn and Dan.
But It's Live.
It's so live.
It's
It is
live.
currently 8:01, Tuesday, May 21st. If you're out there, say hello.
Or say how many more seconds.
How many more seconds, Matthew
He said
Cravey?
that during the countdown, which clearly showed how many seconds were left, showing the cheek of his
But
personality.
he's a famous director,
Yes, he
so
is.
we actually can't mess with that.
Matthew Cravey has directed all of the recent pieces of theater that I've seen.
Nice. All of them, which was one. But it was good.
All of the most recent pieces. Hi,
What's
Bob.
up, Bob McNabb? You know, Bob is going to be in Normandy, France for the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and we were with him for the 75th anniversary of D-Day just 5 years ago.
How the time flies like a winged dove in a John Woo film. And we're not blurry. That last week, thanks for sticking with us. It was not a good time. I mean, it
No.
was a good time.
Oh, it
You
was a
just
great
couldn't
time.
see what a good time it was.
Yeah, when our internet is slow out in the boonies, there is literally nothing we can do about
What
it.
do you do?
Yeah,
Hey, a lot of familiar faces out there. Thanks for being here.
Woo!
A lot of new people coming in too. Good to have you here. Thanks
If you're
for being
new,
here.
please like and subscribe to these thingies right here because, as I've learned, you got to do that in order to stay alive on the tube of you.
Yeah, the tube of you.
The tube of you.
That's pig Latin branding.
It certainly is.
Y'all, hi.
It's really good to see you. What are you drinking out there? Tonight, I am drinking a lovely glass of Pure Leaf unsweet iced tea.
And I am going to be drinking one of my staples, a Diet Coke.
It looks like a beer, but
Yeah, it's not a beer. It's a Diet Coke, and there's not even
a beer at
sugar
all.
in it. Is there anything better? Polls say maybe.
Then a Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I made a goal at the beginning of 2024 that I was not going to have any soda, and I have stuck to that. I have not had one sip. I've smelled it.
Yo, look who's here. It's Danvis, my
Woo!
guy. Good to see you,
Danvis,
buddy.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, it's so
Cheers
good
to
to
you.
see you.
Oh my gosh.
Happy the Queen is going to Ship Hell Day.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is going to ship heck. But we'll talk about that later with our amazing guest coming up.
Yeah, of
Our
course we
amazing
will.
guest, for those of you who are not certain, is the amazing John De Santo. We'll be talking all about him and to him in just a little while.
Yes.
But before Dan drinks this drink, because he has a habit of doing this.
I'm making an effort not to. That's why it's taking me forever. I can't sip the head. So I'm just letting it.
Sip the head, he
Yeah.
says. Hey, wait, excuse me?
No, she
I
can't.
have no head on my iced tea.
I got no head on my iced tea.
Ba-da-ba-ba. Ooh, Monica's
What's going
better
on?
half is even here. This is exciting.
Mr. Brian the Helicopter Mueller.
You guys, we have a
If you know,
toast
you know.
coming in right now. In fact, we have a whole section for it. And before you drink what you're drinking, we would like for you to appreciate something that we like to do every week here on Erinn and Dan, but it's live. And it's called Time Now for a Toast.
Ooh, that one's going to need a little help.
Toast.
And jam.
That's right.
A little jam, a little toast, and just a little revelry all around. And this week's Toast and Jam comes to us all the way from Nebraska. We've had a lot of people coming our way from Nebraska.
Yeah, we love our
It's
Nebraska
like a
team.
second home.
Yeah.
And this young lady, her name is Elia, and she has something to say.
Hi, I'm Elia, and I'm going to be playing Haunted Mouse. Have a good show.
You have a great
Cheers.
show. I insist. Clink. Yes.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you, Elia.
Ilya, that was absolutely lovely. We are,
Enchanted. Did you say it was called Haunted Mouse?
is Haunted Mouth. In fact, I can't remember what those books were called, but I am pretty certain that I played Haunted Mouse when I was Elia's age.
Really?
Because I remember very clearly the part
Really?
of it. Yeah. Oh,
What note is that? Do you remember?
Is it an A? Ilya, if you're out there in the chat, tell me if
let
that
us
was
know.
an A.
Let us know what that
A
is.
very low A.
It's good to be here.
It's
Y'all,
so good to be
we have a
here.
lot going on in our lives right now, but
Yeah, we certainly do.
are we gonna what's first? You lead the show.
What's
I'm just gonna
first?
sit here and comment
Well,
on
while so many of you are tuned in at the beginning of the show, I'd like to tell you all that today is $10 Tuesday. If you would like to support the Letters from Home documentary, we are challenging as many people as possible to give just $10. It is not a hard give, but if all of you watching gave tens of dollars, then we would have tens and tens of dollars. So if
just
you're
think about
interested,
the money you've saved by us not charging you to check out this
exactly.
priceless live stream.
And guess what else? For a donation of $50 or more, you will get an invitation to the release party in 2025. And it's going to be so lit, as the children say.
Yes, the children will be saying how lit our party was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they'll floss their way to the bank.
Flossing is not hip anymore. I have learned.
Now it's all about the gritty now. Who with me?
I love the gritty. All right, question. For those of you out there who are Disney fans, what kind of an animal is this?
Yes, because we had a conversation about this.
Yes.
And Erinn.
Well, so I guess I really didn't think about it much. See, to me, Pluto has always been the dog, right?
He is.
And Pluto doesn't talk. So I never thought about Goofy as a dog. Hey, Fred and Debbie. Can't wait to see y'all this weekend. But supposedly, look, also, before you answer, audience at large, Goofy's girlfriend is Clarabelle, who is clearly a cow.
So are you saying that all species should just breed with themselves?
I'm just saying, look at that mouth.
Are
I
you
have
one of
never
those-
seen a dog
Are
with
you
a
one of
mouth
those
like
pure
that.
blood apologists? You're saying a dog and a cow can't have a perfectly legitimate
I'm
romantic...
fine with whatever. I'm just saying, I don't know if he's actually anything.
He's a dog.
I think he's a dog cow.
He's
I
a
think
dog.
he's half dog, half cow.
His children will be because he's a dog and his girlfriend's a cow. And that's okay.
It is okay.
And if you think otherwise, you can get the hell out.
We have a lot of people saying that that they think Goofy's a dog.
Yeah. Because he is. We got an educated audience.
But why can Goofy talk and Pluto not talk?
I think the issue there rhymes with the chromosomal arrangement more than the species.
I've told Dan this, but do you know what makes me angry? The Fab Five, since I was a little kid, are Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, and Pluto. But then when Daisy came in, a lot of people booted Pluto out and said that Daisy was part of the Fab Five. Now, there could be Fab Six.
There's a reason people
But don't be booting out my doggy.
booted Budo out, and it's because, as you said, Pluto doesn't contribute the way the others do.
And he's not even a planet anymore.
No. So what does he really do? I mean, he's not really relevant. Wait. He is not a cow. Colvin, he's not a cow.
See?
All right.
See, this is a decision. We're going to have to put this to rest somehow. We're going to have to put something out there on our stream. Look for it in the next few weeks. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we're going to do a cow versus dog episode.
Is there any episode of Goofy where he either chases a car or squirts milk from his udders? Because that would clarify.
He does not have udders.
Well,
and if he does, Disney would not show them. Disney is
so
family friendly.
That's not true. Donald doesn't wear anything pants.
Well, we don't care about that. Robin Hood doesn't wear pants. I had the hots for Robin Hood.
Robin Hood doesn't wear pants?
No.
He's just got a ornate green
He's
jacket.
got a little jacket vest thing on and a lot of fur, and he's really cute.
Is it the fur that
All
draws
right.
you to him?
Women out there in their what's.
What does that mean? I don't know what.
I don't know. Young women out there who
She means the women who are currently going through menopause.
I'm not going through Whoa, buddy. Now the train has not come. You'll know when it comes.
What does that
I
mean?
don't
Why? What
know.
happens?
Oh,
What
hey,
happens?
Bill. I don't know, but I think you'll know. For those of I know that I've heard more about menopause to know that when it's happening, I'm going to know. And I haven't been there yet. I'm too happy for menopause.
Yeah. I don't like where this life is leading.
Now it's time
Because
for the
we're teetering-
Dan Beckman Photography Picture of the Week. Dan, tell us about this amazing photograph that you took.
That was like a year, or no, I guess it was last April. That was in Washington. It was at the Valley Tulip Festival. Rosengard was actually the name of the arrangement.
Amazing day.
Yeah, we went with the whole team on tour and saw these beautiful arrangements of tulips as far as the eye could see, and had coffee and snacks, and people. Erinn sat on my shoulders and snapped a photo to get her up high enough so that we could get this photo.
I did.
Actually, this is an award-winning photo.
It is. Oh, so that's 3 awards you've won.
I think that's the second one.
Oh. Well,
either way,
who's
keeping track?
It is an award-winning photo, and we have balloons to celebrate.
Yeah, I won a copy of a poster featuring someone's photo that wasn't mine.
But you still won.
And it only cost me tens of thousands of dollars of camera equipment and years of my life to learn.
You guys, this year is 2024, and not only am I not drinking soda, it's sitting right here, and I can smell it. You know what's funny? It doesn't smell that appealing anymore.
No?
I used to smell a Diet Coke, or I would hear the and it would be like, oh my gosh. But also,
I feel like Diet Coke doesn't have a very distinctive smell.
Are you kidding me?
I'm
I
not
can
kidding
smell
you.
it so hard.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It smells exactly like Diet Coke.
Yeah, it's not like it has an aroma unless you're like pouring it in your nostrils.
Either way, I decided that I'm going to learn something every single day. And so here is what I learned this week. On May 14th, I discovered that figs are not considered vegan because they have dead wasps inside.
What?
Yes. While the figs themselves are fruit, I put this diagram on here because I knew you'd have a lot of questions. They often include bugs. See, a female wasp will enter figs, passing into a part of the plant trying to lay their eggs. Eventually she dies, and she's broken down by a protein digesting enzyme inside the fig, and she becomes a part of the fruit. So if
like
you are
every
vegan,
fig has wasps in it?
yes. So if you are vegan, then you
What a
don't eat
horrifying
figs.
piece of information. Next.
Next, I learned on May 15th that the most power outages in the United States are caused by squirrels. Yep. In fact, the APPA, the American Public Power Association, they say that they have a squirrel index that analyzes the patterns of squirrels and the impact on electrical power outages. It turns out that most squirrels cut the power between May to June and October and November every year.
Yeah. So, in short, because of inflation, Roth IRAs and the limits on input is not worth it anymore. So just invest $200 a week into the squirrel index.
Exactly.
Next.
Next, I learned on May 16th that the Goodyear blimp is the official bird of Redondo Beach, California.
Redondo.
Yeah, that. It's not the bird of the state. The bird of the state is the California quail, but it is the bird of Redondo Beach.
Redondo Beach.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
Well,
but isn't that cool?
It is cool, and I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
What a sad place to be. Next.
Next, I learned on May 17th that that ladybugs defend themselves by bleeding from their knees. When they're threatened, they release this nasty smelling blood from their knees that has the ability to repulse predators. And the San Diego Zoo thinks that it also releases ooze from their abdomens.
Can we go 1 week without you talking about insects and creatures either bleeding from their knees or peeing out of their faces?
Buddy, it's May 21st. I still have a lot to learn, and it's harder and harder to find new things. By the way, audience,
there are billions and trillions of facts out there, and repeatedly you tell me that animals are inside of figs and that things are peeing out of their face.
Isn't it fascinating? Yeah. Lobsters pee out of their face.
See? And shrimps have no guts.
Shrimps have no guts, and now you know that ladybugs bleed out of their knees to repulse predators. Next, I learned on May 18th, this is the coolest thing ever. The world's smallest McDonald's was designed for bees. This mini eating establishment was built in Sweden as part of the company's efforts to restore the bee population. The hive, or rather, McHive, hosts thousands of bees, and it is shaped like a smaller fast food joint.
If your next fact is also about insects, I'm going to punch you in the jaw on live television.
It's not. It's about a dead guy.
Yay!
On May 19th, I learned that the inventor of the Pringles can was buried in one. That is not him.
Really?
Yeah. So in 1966, this guy, Frederick Bauer, developed the ingenious idea for Procter & Gamble to uniformly stack chips inside the bag instead of tossing them in the bag. He was so proud of his invention that he wanted to take it to the grave, literally, and communicated his burial wishes to his family. And when he died, his children stopped at Walgreens on the way to the funeral home to give them the thing. And they argued over which flavor, but they eventually decided on classic.
That's both like really romantic and
Right?
sweet and like super, super trashy. You know what I mean?
And my last fact
It's
for
like
the
getting
week.
engaged at a White Castle. Next.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I learned on May 20th, and I figured we can use this all week. Have you ever known this, Dan, what a kangaroo word is? It is a word that contains its own synonym. So a kangaroo is something it's actually spoken in Australia, but it happens to contain its own synonym. So like, for example, chocolate, I am not explaining this well.
I don't even
But here we
understand
go.
it on the diagram.
So action, A-C-T-I-O-N, action, act. So a synonym for action is to act, and ACT is in the thing. So another example is like chocolate, CHOCOLATE, and it's cocoa is in there, and it's in order. So like gigantic, GIANT, you can find in order. Blossom, BLOOM, bloom.
I have to.
Isn't that cool?
No, it's
Oh,
really
wait.
unnecessary.
Wait.
Why do we have a term for that?
Well,
That's so stupid.
Why?
It's so stupid, and I hate it.
I thought you would want to
Go
discuss
back to
kangaroo
ladybugs
words.
peeing out of their heads.
And that's what I learned this week. You are a pain in my tail feather.
Yeah, do you know that the synonym for tail feather is tail and feather?
Kenya
So those
Heck
are kangaroo words.
Says that I learned that today. Also, my class is studying life cycles, and we talked about the ladybug. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, you know what? You learned about the ladybugs bleeding out of their knees?
I did.
No, I know you did.
Oh,
Kenya,
but so
you
did
did?
Kenya.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
What will you do with that information?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Erinn? I love that you're on this journey
Why?
because it's fun for me to pick apart and make fun of your facts that you've learned while simultaneously secretly enjoying every single one of them.
Oh, you know what I've learned?
What?
So I need to do better research
Yeah.
online. So remember last week or the week before, if you were tuned in, remember I learned about the really cool plant that tastes like chocolate pudding? Well, I thought I ordered them, but I actually ordered these seeds.
It makes sense because you
So-
can't really order fruit in the mail.
Yeah. So these are like pretty expensive seeds. Are there any gardeners in the Winston-Salem area that would like to grow these for me?
Yeah, it's black sapote, and apparently it's a really unique fruit. I will
Yeah.
be honest, I've seen people eat them, and it looks
Wonderful.
gross.
No, it looks like chocolate
You
pudding.
have to let the fruit ripen to the point where it's like falling in on itself,
It
and so
looks
it's
so
just
cool.
like black mush you scoop out of the skin.
But anyway,
it
there's a
doesn't
lot of
taste like chocolate.
instructions on how to do this. I have enough to make 6 plants. So if anyone out there would like to do this, Jeff Hudson, are you out there?
I
Maybe you could do
forgot
this for
to
me.
get my new box of snacks.
Ooh.
I forgot to get it. It's over in the other room, and I can't get up.
But you know what we're going to do next week,
Okay,
everybody?
This is if you all are a big fan of a particular segment about us eating hot food and ruining our mouths, you're going to want to tune in next week because we're about to eat the hottest thing that we've ever eaten in our life. This is the world's hottest chocolate bar.
And it's insane.
It's made from a 9 million Scoville unit extract. If you watch the one where we ate our the end flatline on the air, we ate a small amount of it, and that was only 7 million Scovilles. This is 9, and it comes in a challenge where you're supposed to take 1 square of chocolate every 60 seconds until you tap out.
Isn't that crazy?
I've
And
seen people eating this stuff online, and I'm telling you,
they don't make it.
no, it is insane. It will be the hottest thing that Erinn and I have ever eaten. And that's going to be next week. So you want to tune in for that because it's going to be a center point of the episode. And I hope we're okay.
And for those of you who are worried about my ulcer, I am going to pregame with so much Mylanta. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
And it may not help because chocolate is infamous for causing capsaicin cramps and discomfort on the inside. So
It's going to be crazy awesome.
check in next week. And our special guest, we have a buddy coming into the studio to help us eat this. And he just ran around the parking lot and threw up after eating the flatline. So I'm hoping that this is going to do
He's
him
going to
even
make
dirtier.
it.
Yeah,
He's
he'll be
going to
great.
make it.
He'll be
I'm
great.
proud of him.
Mm.
I am so proud of him. I am
So that's next week
so
on
excited
Wreck Your
about
Mouth
it.
here on Erinn and Dan, but it's live.
But this week, we actually have a new segment that we want to share with everybody.
We do?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Dan created the slide for this afternoon.
We have so many pieces of footage from entertaining people in the past.
It's true.
And
And
we-
people are always asking us to show them.
Yeah. And so we just thought, just look.
Break it.
Gotta tell you, I saw that before, but it just kind of hit me how funny it was now.
Yeah, it's from the vault. And if you don't know, that's an old video from the early days of like viral videos. I think it was called the Turtle Bros.
The Turtle Bros.
Yeah.
And that was Erinn and Dan, baby Erinn and baby Dan.
Definitely.
So today we have I'm not really sure what Bruce is referring to when he says with bugs in it.
Probably the chocolate or your figs or ladybugs or lobster face pea or something. But today's clip from the vault comes from a period of time we call COVID America.
That's right.
COVID the world. 2020. And we went into the Reynolds Place Theater and we recorded a bunch of musical theater duets to send into retirement homes to entertain the lovely old folk who had no escape from the madness of the world.
We did.
And this is one of the pieces we recorded. It's a song called Fine.
Fine.
It started with the wine.
The wine.
The wine. We were shopping for a bottle to bring to her cousin's soiree.
My cousin's the sous chef. She's very gourmet.
I grabbed my favorite Cabernet.
He's got no clue, and so I say, darling, the wine.
The wine.
The wine. They're serving monkfish, so darling, the wine can't be red. How about this Austrian Riesling instead?
Honey, you know I don't like the Riesling. When have you ever seen me drink Riesling?
Never, but can't you listen this once? Red wine and fish, you'll look like a dunce.
Fine, I'll bring the red, you bring the white. That way I'll still get drunk, you'll still be right.
Fine.
Fine.
Fine. And then there was the cab.
The cab.
The cab was stuck in traffic on the middle of Broadway. 10 minutes we wait.
We're 12 blocks away, we're already late.
I point out there'd be no delay if we would just turn that away.
But darling, the cab.
The cab?
The cab was pointed squarely down Broadway. I know you're concerned, but your cousin's on Broadway, so why don't we turn?
Darling, I know my cousin's on Broadway, but there was lots of traffic on Broadway.
Surely, but now in my own defense, we're further away, which doesn't make sense.
Fine, driver, please stop here if you would. I think walking would do us both some good.
Fine.
Fine, fine.
We don't say anything as we're walking down Broadway.
It's like I'm walking next to a stranger.
I had this feeling more and more like I don't even know her. Right now it's cold and we're still in a hurry.
I'm not gonna stop and I'm not gonna worry. We'll be fine.
Fine. Fine.
And then it starts to rain. My hair starts to drip, my shoes are a mess, my bag's getting wet and so is my dress.
I love the rain, how everything
The wind's
shimmers.
picking up, we've got no umbrellas.
Her hair like morning dew. And suddenly I start to think of the minute I first met her. A bucket of snow had fallen in her hair. I pictured her shake the snowflakes off her shoulders. And somehow I want to get us back to there. I want her to know that I can't bear to spend a single day without her. But how can she know? How can she know?
Crap, my shoe, my shoe, my shoe. This is really fantastic, no, really absurd. And what, you just stand there and don't say a word? Fine, I'm gonna go. We're late for my cousin. God help the soul who's late for my cousin. You can stay put out here in the rain, but don't leave it up to me to explain. Give me the wine, don't take all day. Fine then, bring it yourself, your Cabernet. Jesus.
Shut up, Claire, and marry me.
Fine. What? Hey, hey.
Yeah. Back in the days before I knew anything about sound engineering or mixing or video
It was
quality.
live, buddy.
It was
live, just like we're live now, but we sound better.
It was live, but it was not good.
You guys, I am so excited because Dan has a Universal Yums subscription, and it literally just came in today.
If you remember, this is a company that gets snack companies from different countries all over the world to send them snacks, and they compile them into these boxes from specific regions around the world.
So we have had them from the Ukraine.
We had it from, last time it was Baltics.
The Baltics.
And then my first one was from France. And
Which
this is a
was
brand
really
new
good.
one that we're going to look at right now.
Oh,
I'm so
I am
excited,
so excited
for this.
All right, if you want to guess where this is from,
I've never been here.
I've never been here either.
It's one of those places that's apparently just every place I've seen of it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yep, I've seen those pictures.
It's one of those places that once you get there, it's relatively inexpensive to vacation in.
And it looks like there's some spicy stuff in here, which is really exciting. Any guesses?
I'm going to show you one of these snacks, and you can see if.
Oh, that's a good idea.
These are Tasto Devil Emperor Chili potato chips.
You're gonna love those.
I'm so excited about that. See if anyone guesses it throughout the episode. You can guess. Here's a hint. It's on the east. It's in the east.
Here, I'm gonna show another one.
I guess everything's in the east if you go far
Big
enough.
roll grilled seaweed roll.
That's going to give you a little bit more of a clue, I think, because.
And it's barbecue sauce flavored.
Wow, this looks
tasty and easy.
amazing. We also have some sour punk spaghetti, candy spaghetti, which I'm a big fan of. We've got Glendy coconut chips, and we have a coconut roll made from roasted sweet corn. The name of the place is on there, so I'm not gonna.
Guess who just guessed it right the first try?
Wow.
My mother.
Well done.
The travel
This
agent.
week's box is from Thailand, a place I'm dying to go, and I love Asian culture and I love Asian snacks and food, so I'm very excited. I've never had anything from Thailand.
Isaac Brotman also guessed it correctly. And you know what I'm so excited about? Isaac Brotsman knows our guest this week.
Oh, yeah, he does.
That's right. So this week we have the pleasure of having the former promotions director for CBS Radio, 107.9 The Edge Albuquerque, 92.1 The Edge Lansing, and 96.9 Huron. Yep, all that. He was also the 2016 campaign manager for Michigan gubernatorial candidate Todd Schlinger.
Give me this. We've had the pleasure of meeting this man when he was the food and beverage manager on the American Duchess Steamboat. May she rest in peace.
Yes.
She is dead.
She is dead.
Make no mistake.
But we are not. Us boat people will always stick together.
So please give a warm digital welcome
To the one,
the only
John De Santo.
Yes, sir.
Hello, John.
A warm and fitting welcome.
I'm still cheering for me. Hold on.
Okay, everyone keep going.
Woo!
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Oh, Dan, Erinn, it's been a while. How you been doing?
So good. It is great to see you.
Yeah.
Sir Bill, hello. It's been my pleasure. Last time I saw you was in Three Oaks, Michigan.
Yes, you surprised us there. I went through that footage and was reminded of that. That was so sweet. All the way up from, weren't you in Ohio at the time too?
No, I was supposed to go see you the week before in Toledo.
Yes.
But there was a snowstorm that stopped us from going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy one.
We got out to you, which is a 3-hour ride because I live just outside of Detroit in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah.
And we got there, saw the show, and then remember what happened?
Yeah, you threw wine in my face and stormed out.
No, there was another freaking snowstorm. It took us almost 5 hours to get home.
It's so crazy.
You know, it's so funny. I remember the tour being a lot less snowy, but then I go back and I look at the footage and I was like, people, yeah, there was some issues.
Crazy. We were just surprised because people still came out. We were kind of concerned. The minute that I realized I had booked the snow in the worst time of year, I was like, this is interesting. We'll see how it goes. And you know, it was great. I knew John was coming and I saw him because honestly, it was kind of hard to miss him. He was wearing this enormously bright shirt.
Yeah.
And we always pull audience members up for one portion of our show. And if you've seen the show, you know. And John was literally coming onto the stage and I saw Dan recognize him and it was epic.
Yeah, because
It was great. Yeah, it was fantastic. The show was fantastic. I love the intimacy of the theater. I love the interactions that you got. what really, really, really made it special is the number of veterans you had showing up at your shows all over the place.
Mhm.
It got me to the point where I've invested in Tunnels to Towers because of it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
That's so cool. I had no idea.
Well, what you guys have done to revive the USO kind of tour stuff was absolutely, it's spectacular.
Thanks, John. That
Wow.
means a lot.
It does.
We actually just came out of a week-long creative retreat to build our next tour and see if we
Yes.
can get some more of that style built into it.
Super excited.
That was cool, without a doubt.
So, John, I wanted to say I named this episode "God of Thunder," and I'm sure you know
I
why.
saw that.
I don't actually know why.
You
but
don't?
I'm assuming it's because of what's happening in your music delve this week.
Absolutely not. John, tell her.
Oh. Why is it God of Thunder?
Because every time you go to a radio station, they have this tendency to want to name you. So I was getting hired at CBS in Detroit at 97.1 the K-Rock, and I walked in, and the week before they had like a come together meeting, and I was still not in town yet, and they described me as this guy with this big booming voice, and he's huge and this and that. I walk in, I start saying hello to everybody. Oh, you must be Thor. I'm like, damn you! Are you kidding me? You gave me a nickname? Because I know I look like a big Norse god, the flowing blonde hair. I
You
mean,
do.
you know,
And
let's
you
face
swing a big
facts.
hammer.
It's hard to differentiate me from Terry Lunder. I know.
That is true. I get you mistaken all the time.
My favorite part of Thor is when he drinks the coffee and then he slams down the cup and he goes, another! And I can totally see you doing that, John. It made me laugh out loud, like one of those few moments.
She went right from Marvel Universe's Thor, completely disrespecting the Norse mythology,
Listen,
which preceded it.
it is my Thor. Marvel Universe's Thor is my Thor. Hashtag my
That's
Thor.
great. Well, I mean, in the same vein, I went to work at a station in Lansing, Michigan, and they're like, what do you want to use on the air? And I'm like, why can't I use John De Santo? And the guy who was my boss, his name was Sanford Horowitz. He goes, your name is too ethnic. I'm like, your name is Sanford Horowitz.
That's funny. Your
So
name
they
is
gave me the
ethnic.
so he gave me the name New Rock Johnny. So I was New Rock Johnny there.
Ooh.
The Port Huron station, I was Johnny D on the Killer B, B96.9. It's you walk in, and that's why when I would sit in the office with all of us, sometimes I didn't know you guys were talking to me because I didn't know what name you were calling.
But you answer to anything, don't you, John?
You do.
I have to.
You know, we used to share an office with John on the boat. And when
Yeah.
I say we, it was mostly Dan because he did all of the good.
He did all the work.
He did all the work and I did all the smiling. But anyway, we used to share an office with him and it was never dull.
No,
Never dull.
it was not.
Well, literally, the office was the size of most half bathrooms, with two full desks.
Yeah,
The copy machine that ran copies for everybody on the boat.
yeah. But the
and-
size actually I found advantageous at that little. Remember, I got that toilet installed instead of an office chair, so I felt at home.
You were way too luxurious.
Yeah, and I didn't have to take breaks. Yeah,
So
I didn't have
true.
to get up. I could just stay there.
So important.
Well, and that might have been the beginning and the end of the whole the whole bathroom situation on the Duchess.
right?
Actually, I think it was the beginning of the end of the Duchess in general. I think they were like, we can't be having this.
So for those of you who don't know, we all worked on American Queen Steamboat, which we loved. So much fun. And unfortunately, today or yesterday, most of the boats were taken to the scrapyard.
Yeah.
So goodbye, lovely homes. It was great while it lasted, as the song says.
I wish I'd have had millions of dollars to just throw the stuff away that I just bought.
I know. I know. That's really the American dream, isn't it?
I like to think that all of the pieces of them are going to go into amazing things. So like we'll be passing by some incredible looking boat and we'll be like, I wonder if a piece of our little Duchess is on that amazing looking
I wonder
boat.
the same thing for the slaughterhouses that are using the scrap iron from the paddle wheel to murder cows and continue the beef
God.
industry.
Well, I guess they're going to be sinking the boat somewhere in deep enough water where they can turn it into either a coral or for oyster harvesting.
You know what would be cool?
Is that a thing?
What if they
Yeah.
What if they sunk the queen and then they offered, like, they let the coral and stuff like literally grow around it, and then you could like scuba dive through the queen underwater?
Be
That'd be pretty awesome.
It'd be hard to get your
But,
money,
I
your
mean,
investment money back.
Well, I mean, that company that bought them, I'm thinking that they might just put glass bottom boats so that you can see their old boats as we pass by.
That'd be cute, and rubbing salt in the wound, eh?
Oh,
Oh, it's
Hey.
horrible. I've been fighting to look for a job that I wanted for the last 3 months, obviously. But you know, the best part of this is having the time to just shoot it back and forth with you, Dan, about because I really get into a lot of the music that you are discovering.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because, you know, I've got friends who've worked for all these folks, and I've got friends that, you know, because I've been in the business and doing things, you know, it brings back a lot of really cool memories of back when I was in radio.
I love that.
so for
Well, I
those of
remember-
you who don't know, Dan is doing this amazing music delve, and I get a secondhand awesomeness because I hear all of the artists. But he has literally been listening to pretty much every album of every artist and learning about them throughout their history. And he
Every
takes-
album of every artist.
well, one a week.
Yeah, one artist a week, one discography a week. And I remember, John, you were telling me about back when I was doing REM, how you used to play ping pong with those guys, with Michael
That's
Stipe.
so cool.
Well, being the promotions director, I was always, you know, going to these events and going to the shows, and we're ending up backstage and you know, hanging out with the bands. And there was this place called the State Theater in Detroit, and it's now the Fillmore or something. But when I was working in Detroit, we would go to this place, or we would go on these tours, and I would like see REM had their ping pong table with them. They set it up at every stop. You
mean
play
they
ping
brought their
pong.
own ping pong table?
Yeah, they had it with them. Well, the band Silverchair. Do you remember them from
What'd you say?
Australia?
Silver
The
Chair?
band Silverchair. They were when I was in radio, they were all under the age of 16 or 17. They were the Hanson of the alternative rock world.
Wow,
and-
I don't know what that means, but it sounds dangerous.
It does.
But they were a great little band, and my job was to find a winner to come and play Xbox on their tour bus with them. and at the end, they got to keep the Xbox.
No
So
way.
that was the kind of stuff that I got to do. So when I saw REM playing ping pong in Lansing, Michigan, I went to the guys who owned the State Theater in Detroit. I'm like, you guys get a ping pong table. I could set up some great promotions, and I ended up playing ping pong with so many different people.
That's
That's awesome.
And you know, bands like REM, bands like Pearl Jam. They were out of Seattle or something. I can't remember. But you know, but one of the best times I ever had. There's a couple of them, but one of the best times I ever had. I get a phone call from our record rep back when I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they're like, "Hey, this new band's coming along. They're going to be in town for a couple days before their show. They're opening up for XYZ. I forget who it was. Might have been Primus." I'm like, "Sure, who is it?" And no one had heard of them yet. It was Stone Temple Pilots.
No way.
wow.
So I brought them to a water park for water slides. And if you know anything about Scotty Weiland, he was about half the size of your mic stand.
So he shot
And this
down
little
really fast on those slides.
tattooed guy going down this 5-story slide, just skipping along, just laughing his butt off.
That's
It was
amazing.
one of the best times I'd ever seen.
Did he go down the water slide like, leave us?
No, Stone Temple Pilots, when he would sing, he always carried a megaphone on stage with him and sang through the megaphone sometimes.
Wait, really? That's
Didn't
really cool.
trust the sound engineers to amplify, I guess.
Yeah, here you
That's
go.
great.
Well, I mean, truthfully, he was a trained like you. He was trained in opera.
Wow.
But and
Never
then
know
they
what-
went on.
Yeah.
They went on tour with the Butthole Surfers, and the guy who was the lead singer of the Butthole Surfers got him hooked on heroin. It's tragic.
Oh, worst.
Yeah, that's the one that gets them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Your artist this week was Talking Heads.
Yeah, because I asked John for a list of some of his favorite artists, and Talking Heads popped up among those. Yeah.
And I had no idea they had a female bassist. That's so freaking cool.
Oh, she was so cool.
That's amazing.
Did you get to work with them and meet them?
I have never met them, never saw them live. That's one of those bands that kind of got away.
Really?
They're so
Genre of alternative, the one that I did get to meet is the lead singer of The Cure, Robert Smith.
Sure.
But yeah, that's why I told you to look at the movie Stop Making Sense.
Oh yeah, was that the documentary we were going to watch last night?
That was the documentary we were going to watch. We just didn't get around to it, but I did get through their whole discography, and I am kind of sad. Their career was relatively short because I guess
way too short.
David Byrne just kind of like left, and the band found out that they were broken up through an article in like USA Today or something like that.
No way.
It was a trade magazine. I think it was Radio and Records.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Released the fact that they had broken up, and they like you said, they never even knew it.
Yeah, and then the other, Tina, what's her name? The rhythm section, who became the Tom Tom Club.
Yeah,
they toured after David Byrne left as the Shrunken Heads, which I thought was
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What a name.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, after in the 90s, and then David Byrne, and then later as the Heads. And David Byrne kind of got on their case because he was like, "You're obviously trying to capitalize on the Talking Heads name." But I'm curious, what drew you into that band, and what do you love so much about them?
It was early in the MTV years, and they were such a theatrical band. Their stage, I mean, to watch some of their videos, some of their stage, it was art attached to music.
Yeah.
Mm.
It wasn't so much, the musicianship. It wasn't, he's got 9-octave range, nothing like that. It was just, it made it so interesting to see what they were bringing to the stage, kind of like Devo.
Yeah.
It's what you're bringing to the show. It's not just the fact that your music's great. It's the fact that you're entertaining me in ways that I wouldn't have thought of sitting in that audience.
And I feel like David Bowie kind of did that a lot too. In fact, Talking Heads and David Bowie remind me a fair amount of each other. They both got produced by Brian Eno for a time. But just their lyricism and presentation sometimes, obviously not the music itself so much, but David Byrne as a frontman and David Bowie as a frontman seemed like they would have been an interesting pair.
Very.
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing scared them. They're going to do it on stage. They're going to do it.
Yeah. What's your favorite album or favorite period of Talking Heads career?
Oh, like I said, it was the early 80s, so early MTV.
Yeah.
And we had just gotten MTV on our local cable network, and we did a TV show as students called Back Porch Video. And once in a lifetime, it just, that song to me said a lot about that era.
That's cool.
I love that. I actually liked them more and more as they went along. Like their early stuff was a little bit difficult for me, but the later, like the final album, the first half of the final album is amazing.
Which is kind of surprising for you because you don't usually love the 80s sound as much
but
of artists.
It suits them so well.
I think it's great. And
Yeah.
I didn't think I had known any Talking Heads songs, but I ended up knowing a few of them. I think like they're so fun.
Well, it's kind of like, and you're going to laugh at this reference. It's kind of like listening to Huey Lewis and the News. Oh, you're like, oh, wait, that's a song? That's one of theirs? That's a hit.
Right.
You start going through, you're like, wow, that's a hit. Yeah, I remember that one. That's a hit.
Like,
And you just forget the, you think Huey Lewis and the News. What is that? Bad 80s. But you know what? They had a lot of hits in a short amount of time.
Yeah. And to your credit too, from what I read, I understood that the MTV, like their kind of theatrical music videos became a big reason for their success because they got such heavy play on MTV.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it was a time when not many people had music videos that had any kind of production value. And they were fighting for content. It was a new network, and all these record companies were trying to get them as much as they could, so everybody's video looked like a cookie cutter of each other.
Yeah.
Really, really bad edits and really, really bad concert footage. So when you were able to move away from that, it made it a whole different experience.
Cool.
Now, in 1984, I went to the MTV studio. I know you were like 17 or something. I remember how young.
I was born in 1984 in December.
I know, you're a week before my birthday.
That's right.
Happy belated birthday. I've missed a few.
We have.
By the way.
107 now.
Yeah.
But
you look great.
But the lighting in here is awesome.
That's what it is.
No, in '84, the Back Porch Video team, all 15 of us, went to the MTV studios, and we got to have a sit down with Martha Quinn at the time. So we learned a lot about videos and a lot about presentation. I was one of the cameramen. I was already in radio in '84. I was working at a rock station doing voiceover work because I always sounded like this.
Like Morgan Freeman, except a little
oh
more.
my God,
Freeman!
I would totally put you on the Penguin movie.
But
maybe the Bob Saget one, not the Morgan Freeman one.
The blows continue.
No, I'm not trying to blow you. I mean, I meant.
If I had a dime for every time someone told me that.
Welcome to my world.
I'm not trying to. Whatever. I'm not trying.
Don't worry about it.
I meant it as a compliment. You have a great voice.
You sound like Bob Saget and Morgan Freeman became penguins.
Well, the funny thing about this voice is it's essentially the same voice. So anytime I was talking in class, they knew who the hell it was quick.
For sure. It's iconic.
Yeah.
I did a lot of different kinds of radio commercials early on.
That's so cool.
It popped out immediately. But I was in radio from '84 to '99. My last 3 years, I was working for the Detroit Lions, helping with their pregame and postgame broadcasts.
I like
and
that.
And also doing remotes and stuff from the parking lot.
Very cool.
I want to do that.
Well, I sound taller on the radio.
I don't want to do it for the Detroit Lions, but I want to do the job.
Do you like the Detroit Lions? Do you
No,
even know who they are?
I do not.
Which one is that? Football?
Yep.
That was a good guess.
You know what's even funnier about that?
What?
Is her statement reminded me of when we played poker on Thursday nights on the Duchess.
Do you know how often I think about that and how frequently? I remember you were a pressure player because we were learning how to play the game at first, and we would all just limp in pre-flop. No one wanted to raise pre-flop.
Anytime
no one knew how to play poker.
someone raised pre-flop, we would freak out.
But then John would always go, $2. And I was like, what are you doing, man? That's huge money.
And now it's he is like a whole. Actually, we both bet pre-flop now.
Oh, you got to. It's part of the game.
I would feel bad.
Well, it's funny because I never changed my bet, as you noticed.
I know.
You didn't know if I had cards or if I didn't have cards.
But $2 back in that game was, and this was 25, 50 cent blind. So $2 should not have been a large bet, but it was for us at the time.
Well, because she was just learning. Is 2 pair or 3 of a kind better?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
which one you got?
We also were, and we would bring new people in and teach them poker, but it was a cash game only. So people would sit down with $20 and they'd learn the game as we slurped their money up.
So true. I felt so bad for some of those deckhands that would come in after they got off at midnight.
Unbelievably cruel of us.
It was so fun. Oh.
The beauty of it was, this is how I got to know you, because it was the first Thursday that I was aboard, and Eric P. Crean.
Yes.
Do you play cards? I do now, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Poker nights on the Duchess were like worth the rotation.
Literally gave me a huge part of my vice in life. Like poker is in a top 5 position for the things that I have unhealthy relationships with.
It's true. When we were on tour last year, he would find the best poker rooms all over the country.
No, I would find the poker rooms wherever I was.
True. But you have your favorites, like the Golden Nugget is one of them.
I love the Nugget.
You also love, oh my gosh, Deadwood. Have you ever played poker in Deadwood, John?
No.
Oh, it's so cool. That's where Wild Bill Hickok was shot with aces and eights.
I'm from Detroit. Everybody's shot with aces and eights.
That's brutal.
Oh, my dad always calls him Detroitlet, and I'm sorry to tell you that.
That's adorable.
Well, I mean, it's like listening to her try to figure out where Port Huron was.
Exactly. or Redondo Beach, or what else?
I am such a bad reader.
Gubernatorial candidate.
I'm also super dyslexic, which makes my life like challenging. When I go to do cold readings for auditions, I flub up all the words all the time. I commit to them, so I'll just say them. But it's the worst.
And she's charming, so it doesn't hurt.
Well, she kind of threw me a curveball the first time she showed me the banner for the event.
Oh,
she misspelled De Santo.
It wasn't De Santo.
I think it was De Santo.
De Santo.
De Santo, yep.
Which, to be fair, is a really cool name.
It's better than Thor.
Oh, it's much better than Thor.
What is better than Thor? Thor is epic.
Thor is great.
Well, who's your favorite superhero, Jay?
It's hard to go against Thor, but I love Iron Man.
Ooh,
yeah, I could see you as Iron Man. Yeah, you got the Iron Man personality and sardonitism, I think.
I'm Captain America all the way.
Well, sardonitism, I like that. 2 points.
Thank you.
But it's just, the crass, because you may or not know this about me, but I tend to be a little crass.
You? No.
Work with me on this. But yeah, I tell people all the time, you can't spell class without ass.
Yeah, and it's true. And it's true.
Yep.
And also, ass is a kangaroo verb with class. So
we use
how it comes all the way around.
Always good to learn new things.
Everybody. Good night. Wait, that wasn't the right slide.
No, it wasn't.
Never mind. Just forget it.
John, I am so happy to see your smiling face. You make my heart light with joy.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, and also, I didn't ask you this before. I usually give our guests a little heads up, but John was a little late to sound check. So I have a question for you. We always like to ask our guests to embark their knowledge on our
Did I
audience
mention
at
that
large.
Erinn does this thing where she needs a word and she says a word that seems like it should be correct, but doesn't use it correctly?
Well, I'm just glad you guys didn't sing it in unison when she came out with the wrong word.
Embark. Right, keep going.
We love to ask you for some positive advice or whatever's on your heart that you think might make our audience at large and the world listening a little bit of a better place. So, got anything for us?
Oh, yeah, there's tons of stuff. First and foremost, where we're at in life right now, looking at shut the TV off.
Yeah.
Get away from that. Second of all, people are good. It's just wrong for the way that we're perceiving each and other right now. And most importantly, it's so easy, especially those of us that have lost our jobs and are struggling to find the new frontier. because, our careers were taken away from us out of the blue. Be a cat. Land on your feet.
Meow.
It's just one of those things where it's going to come back. And don't give up hope because something is the hiccup or the orange pylon in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, I love that.
Just land on your feet. Know full well if something happens to your stuff, it's just stuff. It's not who you are. It's just stuff you have. And things come and go all the time. But be true to yourself, and everybody else will gravitate towards you.
So true. That was a triple header.
You're so wise,
Yeah.
John. It's almost
I'm
like
old.
At 107, I'm not surprised.
oh my God.
0.9.
Sorry. Yeah.
We love you so much. And we got to hang sometime soon. So before you're employed again, come and visit us.
I start on Tuesday, my new job.
Ah,
All right. Well,
shoot.
it gives you a whole week. We got a kennel. You can just curl up in there.
There you go.
I was just in Atlanta over the weekend. You guys could have met me halfway.
I didn't know.
We would have.
Go back.
Yeah.
You're too busy listening to music.
Yeah. That's us.
That's us.
Do me a favor. Thank you so much. I hope you guys, have a great tour the next time around. Oh, yeah. Damn Skippy. For everybody who doesn't know how great these two are, go see their live show. Watch what they do for our veterans. And more importantly, watch what they do to make your day better.
That's so sweet.
That's so nice. John, thank you for being here. We really appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah. And we can't wait
It's not
to
the
see you.
booze talking. I love you.
It's the Coke talking.
Yes. And the last of my
Diet.
iced tea.
See you, dude.
Bye.
Salute.
Mwah. Let me tell you, all of the people that we met on the Duchess were wonderful.
Yep.
All of them. Passengers who are out there tonight and crew and
Not
friends.
all
and
the passengers are wonderful.
only one was not wonderful. And I just think they needed a chill pill.
There were.
And the ones that weren't great, we should be kinder to, which actually inspires me to move into our last section of the show.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, it does. It's time for. Dan.
I couldn't hold it.
Today on Erinn's Positivity Corner, I would like to talk about giving back. And I think that was a kind of a great transition, honestly.
Thanks. I animated it myself.
I didn't mean the slide, but I meant talking about people who aren't the best because they need giving back to too. I feel like I have grown up as a very lucky person. I have been a cat my whole life. I've always landed on my feet. There's been slugs and swings, but I've had a great support system. And with great power comes great responsibility, as Batman says.
Nope.
But there's so many ways that we can give back, whether you are privileged or not. One of the ways is teaching someone something new. I think that no matter if you're a teacher or if you're someone who wants to just pass along some knowledge like John De Santos just did.
Or like Erinn did, telling you that all your fruit is infested with the corpses of mother bugs.
Exactly. Now you know, and you can tell someone else tomorrow.
Yes.
You can also give back monetarily. If you have any little amounts, giving to charity is great. Or if you don't have any little amounts, here is an easy way that you can give back to a small business. If you like their videos, if you share their information, we have so many small artists around here and studios or small musicians who want to get their work out there.
Like
if you
the lead
their
singer
stuff-
of Stone Temple Pilots.
Exactly.
He was small.
But
I
you know,
learned.
it's amazing how far a like, a subscribe, a share will go to these small artists. So if you see something you like, if there's a painter that you love, go ahead and share that. And above all, it's so easy to do this. Just choose kindness. It's such an easy choice. So if you're out there tonight, I love you. And I hope that you will choose kindness as the year goes on.
As do I. And I also hope you will choose to follow us here, and here. There's more content on the way. Erin's about to do a big social media overhaul, so stay tuned for that. And next week, at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the internet.
Right here.
On Tuesday, we're going to be eating the world's hottest chocolate bar, which is going to be a task. And we've got a special guest coming who is far less experienced with heat tolerance than both Erinn and myself. So we've got three sort of, I think, weights and measures by which to see how much this is going to make us suffer. And I tell you
Yes.
now, it's going to be
Crazy.
bad.
Happy anniversary to Carrie and Rick, who are out there
thank
tonight.
you.
Thank
And
you
have
for
been
tuning in.
and tuning in for years. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
diehard fans of our last podcast, and she's here every week. So
Since the pandemic, they've been
Mhm.
here. And Carrie, honestly, has been, even through our 24-hour fundraisers, she stayed up with us the entire time, both times.
yeah,
so,
she's a super
mwah,
mega
we love you,
fan.
Carrie.
Hey, and we love all you. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. My name is Erinn,
My name is Dan.
and this has been Erinn and Dan, but it's live. And now,
I'm actually Erinn. Just in case you don't know us, I didn't want you to think. I mean, you can think whatever you want.